So I want to announce, obviously, the Heritage Admin Training, as you can see, the HAT, we'll call it. And Tina West and myself are going to be putting this training program on over the next 10 weeks, and we're going to be focusing on specifics. And I'm going to go over the 10-week program with you right now. The reason why we decided to come up with this program was we wanted to make sure we give the utmost support to the admin that may not necessarily be hired for on our side, but hired on the realtor side. So when you're looking, and we're going to go up over some of the team structure stuff, but when you're looking to bring on an administrator, what is it that they are doing for you? And I think a lot of people underestimate the importance of having an administrator working on your business and the effectiveness of that. We've seen many individuals go the team route that start with an administrator and immediately double their income. So they're already doing $200,000-300,000. And then all of a sudden they get an administrator, and the next year they did 600,000, and they did it with less effort. And the reason being is they hired an administrator, hired somebody to help them do the things that they shouldn't be doing. There's a certain threshold where your hour to time ratio or your flexibility of hours, or even if you break it down to what you pay yourself an hour, to do the things that, let's say, a $20-30 an hour job would do, you're going to notice that you're being paid, let's say, in the echelon of hundreds of dollars an hour, and that just doesn't make any sense anymore. Why would you be doing the administrative part of the business where you could be excelling and spending the time on your business and doing the things that make the most sense from a business standpoint and increase the value of the bottom line? So without further ado, and I like to give a big shout out to Joseph for helping me out with the slideshow today. It looks fantastic. We're going to go over the program. Week 1, which is this week, we're going to be going over the administrative responsibilities, hiring, training, and what should administrator be focused on. Week 2, we're going to talk about communication. So how is it that the administrator communicates with either the team or with the agent that they're working with, and what systems are you using in order to communicate? So week 3, the website and CRM. We're going to be showing the remarketer system, and as we go through these weeks, you'll notice that the systems that we're showing are the ones that we as Century 21 Heritage Group have implemented in our business practices, and it's the systems that we empower you with in order to build your business. And they're great systems, and if everybody was using all of them, they'd be in a rock star realtor. So we're getting the administrators to get all these systems up and going. So website and CRM with remarketer. Week 4, the marketing at Century 21. So we have the marketing center, we've got spotlight newsletters, how to utilize some of the marketing systems that we have in your business. Week 5, we'll be going over social media with Back at You Media, an overview of other platforms you should be using. Week 6 is your repeat and referral business. So we'll be talking about Real Satisfied and testimonials, as well as MoveSnap. Week 7, working with buyers, and making sure that you have a great offer presentation, but how to prepare the offer as well for the agent. So we'll be actually implementing training programs that you can have the administrator work alongside our administration at the front desks in order to learn web forms and how to be paperless. Really, there's some really good best practices within the web form system that will allow you to go paperless and keep track of all the deals. Buyer presentations as well. And then week 8, we'll be working with sellers part 1, which is a spotlight program, listing presentations, working with sellers part 2 in week 9 with Broker Bay, and the listing preparation with web forms. Okay, so that's the 9-week program. I said 10, it's actually 9. We may throw an extra one in there just as a bonus. So moving on to the very first week, which is administrative responsibilities and hiring and training. The hiring resources are found in the Google Drive. Okay, so we have a team folder within the Drive. It's called Team Structures with Hiring and Onboarding. I'm actually going to go back over there. I'm going to log in to the Google Drive, and I'm going to go through these chapters with you right now. They're great 2-page per chapter resources when looking to start building your team. And the very first component of any good team is your administrator. So let me just fly over to the Google Drive. There we are. This is a great program Richard Robin puts on. And I went on it. It was a full week program, how to structure and implement a team processes. I think it's a great program. I have all the resources, and we're going to continue to do more sessions on teams and building teams. So first of all, the team structures and growth. I'm going to go to this in a minute, so I'm going to skip past it. But he really does talk about using the DISC system to hire somebody, and it could be, in this case, it's an administrator. So what sort of personality style are you looking for with an administrator? And we're going to go over that in a minute. There are 5 team structures he puts in place. There's actually 500. There's so many different ways to structure a team. And we're not talking a partnership here. Partnerships are different, right? Partnerships are, you're partnering up with somebody, everything's 50-50. A good example of a partnership would be husband-wife combo, let's say. We see a lot of that within the industry, husband-wife splitting everything down the middle. They divide up responsibilities working together. Or a buyer, or sort of buyer agent, it's a buyer and listing agent. So an agent partners up with another agent. The thing with partnerships, and I'm going to say most university courses on when it comes to business will talk about partnerships as sinking ships. Partnerships are very difficult because there's a lot of personality involved. So what we're talking today is teams. And the team structure starts obviously with the team leader or the agent. And the very first thing you should be looking at doing is bringing on an assistant. This is going to determine whether or not you should be building a team. If you don't have enough business currently to let's say even afford to have an assistant, you're not ready for a team. You're not busy enough. Okay, we know there's a breaking point, and it usually hits around 300,000 in our market, depending on the market and how many homes you're selling. But if you're selling 30 homes a year or more, you are not able to give the service that you used to once provide. So you'll always be stuck between 200,000 and 300,000, and you're going to stall there. And that's okay if you do. I mean, some people, quality of life, they want to stall there. That's fine. If they were to really get right into, let's say, doubling their income or building out a proper, we'll call it career business plan, but running your business as a business rather than just as a sales agent, the very first thing you do is you bring on an admin, because what that does is it frees you up to sell more homes. You can't give away your business at this point in time. Your business will go down. You will do half as much if you start giving half of it away. So you need to get so busy that you have so much business that you can now bring on a buyer's agent. But in order to do that, you need to make the most of your time, which is get an admin. Make sure that the administrator is well-trained, implementing systems that saves them time and you time so they can work on even more things. So that's the very first step. Number 2 would be this next step, which would be have the assistant and then bring on a buyer agent. Now you have so much business that the administrator is taking care of things, but you can work smarter, not harder, by giving half your business away to somebody, to them, and then that you can take the time that they're spending and make half of their income, which is a buyer's agent. So let's say 50-50 split. We're just going to talk basic numbers here. Then you're going to go into step 3, which is the team leader, agent, administrative assistant, and then having a listing and a buyer agent, like 2 of them, right? Or 2 buyer's agents, or 1 buyer, 1 listing. And then it's going to go into partners, more administrators for them. You could get to the point where you have 40 people on your team, and 5 of the 40 all have administrators themselves. We've seen teams like that. So there's different programs after that step. But today, what we're going to be talking about, and throughout this program, is this first step. And if you're at the second and third step, that's okay. We can get your administrative assistants more profitable and efficient as well. So those are the 5 team structures I wanted to talk about. The typical growth patterns, we just kind of went over with it. It goes to single agent, you get a team leader and assistant, then moves to a buyer agent. We just kind of went through that. Another growth pattern here that we're not going to go through because it's more about team building there. But we're going to talk about how to hire great people. I'm going to go through this fairly quickly today because I'm going to provide you with the resource by going into your Google Drive. You can print this off and you can study it. You can read it. That's fine. Today, what I want to do is just make sure you understand the steps associated with getting a great assistant, what an assistant personality profile would look like, as well as their responsibilities. So that's what we're going to talk about today. You're going to want to create a proper compelling job post, and this is a sample post. So we have sample posts for you as to what to put on an Indeed, for example. There's lots of Facebook, Monster. There's lots of job sites out there. You can get out to Kijiji and Craigslist and all the rest of it. But if you're looking for an assistant, the most important thing, don't take the first one you talk to and say, yeah, I can get along with them. Do a proper interview, right? Ask the right questions. This is the job post. Okay. It has some primary responsibilities, experience, etc. These are some of the things they say to post free ads. So network of associates, family, friends, social media, whether it's LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Indeed, Kijiji, I already mentioned those. So they go through that. Expanding your reach with paid posts. Yes, if you're going to really get out there, you're going to need to pay a little bit of money. So you can spend anywhere from $150 up to $1,000. And that's going to be into local newspapers, real estate related publications, professional recruiting sites like in those LinkedIn Monster Workopolis have an extra step up if you pay. Okay. You're going to review the resumes and screening the applicants. Okay. And one of the things in here that I'm going to show you on our other slides is how to get a DISC profile done for them before they are brought into the interview. They're going to go on a website, they're going to fill it out and email it to you. And then you'll get a good idea of their personality style and whether or not that's what you're looking for. So you've got, these are the 5 factors when reviewing. So job stability. So and this goes, as you're reading through the resumes, if they've been in 5 places in the last 5 years, they have no stability. They're going to be gone in the next year. So you're going to spend all this time training them. Don't go with puddle jumpers. You don't want that, right? Where do they live? If they live too far away, it's not going to work. Hobbies and interests. Make sure that they are going to get along with you. Some hobbies and interests is a good idea. Professionalism and experience, of course, how they come across, how they've presented themselves. The way they're presenting themselves to you is the way that your clients are going to have that presentation when they're calling them. So make sure that's at a high level. And education, experience, education. You can look at that. Are they licensed? When we talk about licensed assistants or unlicensed assistants is often a question that's asked. I prefer unlicensed assistants, especially to start. Licensed assistants will tend to look for a possibility of getting into sales, and you may lose them, which might not be a bad thing if you want to build them into a buyer's agent. It does give you some pros, which would be, being able to talk to the consumer about real estate, meaning give suggestions on houses and stuff like that. But you want to be careful with it. It's just, I find the unlicensed assistants will stick around longer, will focus on what you need them to focus on rather than going off in other directions. So just be careful with being licensed, having a licensed assistant. The 15-minute interview, so what to ask over the phone. There's some questions for you. The interview process, when they come in, again, some questions. I always like anytime you do interviews is to put them in situations. Tell me a situation where you had a tough customer or client that you were dealing with, and how did you handle and overcome that? Those are all good questions, and there's a ton of good questions here. This is a great resource. Tons of questions. That's great. Check references. Most people forget this part. I like them. They're good. I don't want to stop the process, hire them and get on to selling real estate. So they forget to check references. So make sure you do that. And these are some of the questions to ask. And then secrets to hiring the first time. These are great suggestions, right? Choosing the right person, do it properly. So it is going to be slow, but if they're not working out, especially in the first 3 months, you need to know this. Let them go fast within the first 3 months. You have no problem within the first 3 months if you have to let them go. Just say it wasn't working out. Invest that time, energy, money, and training. Now, this is what we're going to help you with, right? we are going to help you with that training aspect. We want to make sure that you are utilizing as much of the resources that are provided to you as possible. And we have amazing resources. So we will help engage your administrative and take some of that burden off your shoulders. Not all the burden. There are going to be things that you want them to do for you that we are not going to train. So you're going to need to spend a bit of time with that. But when it comes to our systems, we're training, we're getting them up there with all the systems that we provide, which, you know, is a good portion of what they're going to be doing. So, and then there is a chapter 8, how to onboard team members with red carpet, right? Being prepared, being professional, branded company packages, take them through an orientation, show them around, wow them on day one with flowers, gift basket. These are all amazing things that if you did, these people are going to work so hard for you. This is a great opportunity to impress them. Detailed training schedule, make sure that they're organized. Okay, so there's a really good manual on hiring an assistant, and it could be even a buyer's agent for that matter. So it is available in the drive. It's under Teams. So if you go to Teams, there's other resources in there as well. We have some things that I'm going to go through with administration. We have our contracts, how to schedule, what to go over in meetings, some scripts and stuff. So this is a good resource for you guys. And we're going to move on to the DISC profile. Now, if you haven't done a DISC profile ever, or any type of profile, this may be new to you. I'm going to be giving everyone a link. It's actually a link to Tony Robbins' website. He provides you with a free DISC profile. This usually costs money. What you'll do is you'll fill in your information. He'll probably be sending you some emails and stuff to get to buy his book and stuff. You know, it's a give take, you know, but you're going to get the value out of the DISC profile by doing it. But you can also get whoever you're hiring to fill this in. And when they answer the questions, it's going to spit out some letters and tell you where you sit. Being a dominant personality is great for management training, CEOs, that sort of stuff. Being influential is really good in sales because you're the life of the party. People gravitate towards you. There's the steady, so very calm, dealing with problems as they come in very professionally, but not the life of the party, but the tortoise that wins the race, right? So this type of person, and I should be reading off the adjectives at the side because that would help. Stable, supportive, sincere, sensitive is another one. And then you've got competent, which is the cautious, careful, conscientious, calculating. It says condescending, as if that's a negative thing, right? They could be condescending, but they're compliant. So they do things with very good accuracy. So what sort of personality are you looking for in an administrator? I would think stable, supportive, cautious, careful, and conscientious would be the two that I would be looking for instead of the influential salesperson or the dominant leader, right? The dominant people jump around. These are different, and you'll be a little bit of both. Like it's not just going to put you in one. You may be CSI or CIS or that sort of thing. And to do that training, I'm going to flip over to the where to go to do this. It's not training; it's a profile. TonyRobbins.com/DISC DISC. Okay. You're looking for the highest levels in the S dimension. It contributes to him or her being a great stabilizer, consistent, reliable. You're also looking for the high levels of C, which makes him or her bulldogs for details, neurotic for accuracy, and stickers for making sure everything's done by the book. So to hire a good administrator, this is the sort of person you're looking for. I've been on enough seminars to know that the percentages of happy people are doing things that they do well, right? So you do want to look at that for help. Now let's get right into what the typical assistant responsibilities would be. We are going to be talking about a lot of this as we go through the 9 sessions. The first one is client care. So providing excellent follow-up with clients and agent feedback, client gifts on closing, having a birthday card program, a house anniversary program, coordinating team events, CRM drip campaigns, lead nurturing. This is the sort of client care stuff that a typical assistant will be responsible for. So each part of this program needs to be trained and implemented. And it depends on which parts of these programs, if there's any others that you're going to have to train your administrator to do. But as soon as they start doing this sort of stuff, you start getting a lot more business. So if you're not already doing this and doing it yourself, you should be, but they can help do that. And that's where part of the doubling of the business will come in, is to make sure the clients are being looked after for repeat and referral business. Building your business. So managing and enhancing social media. So this is getting out there and actually looking for business, managing and promoting the client testimonials for websites, write and facilitate all creative for advertising, track and analyze advertising to create efficiency per dollar spent. So your return on investment, providing opportunities and feedback to a team member to promote sales-driven goals. So making sure if you have team members, you want to promote those sale-driven goals. Every week that we have a, let's say, a team meeting, bringing up those goals, seeing who's following through on it, and making sure that we're promoting that follow-up system so that everyone is more efficient as well. Administrative responsibility, so more administration side, is managing teams' central email and responding accordingly. Communicate daily with the team leader. So communication's a big thing. Helping prepare material for team meetings. Prepare all buyer seller packages and presentations. Booking the showings. Coordinating showings with meetings with clients. Prepare CMAs, listing packages, monthly marketing analysis, graphs, etc. Following up with the clients, solicitors, other agents as needed. Organizing team leaders' calendar and time block accordingly. We're going to switch on to the next. The managing of the client database, so the CRM system, maintaining photos, open houses on MLS and websites, coordinating the preparation of listing, feature sheet photography, signage, and all other materials, manage, update agent websites and blogs, track and coordinate all inbound leads from the websites. I say her websites. I don't know why that's his or her website. Social media and emails. I did do this at once for somebody, so it might have been that person I was doing it for. Maintain and organize the listing and deal paperwork, and then organize the and file all advertising. So these are just some pretty straightforward administrative stuff, but there's a ton of it. And we're not getting, right into the thick of it even. We're just scratching the surface. So there's a ton of things for an administrator to do. And a lot of people have asked me recently that I've said, your next step as an administrator. So what would they do? What would they do? So again, this is something that is in that Google Drive as well. So you don't have to take notes, just print off the full list, go into the Google Drive, print off the full list, and it's all here for you. Okay, so, and if you're an administrator and you're listening today, these are some of the things that you need to start to check mark. Pull off the list, sit down with your agent and go through this and say, listen, these are the things that I want to try and, get all scheduled into my day timer. Make sure that I'm following up and how much I spend on certain things. I need to go over with you what you want me to prioritize, what's most important right off the bat. So these are the things that you can help your agent with by going through and helping organize them. You're organizing yourself, but at the same time, you're pulling some information out of the agent that, by the way, are salespeople. We're like, as a realtors, we're salespeople. This is what we do. We sell. We're good with people, right? We put deals together, but we don't want to do this other stuff. We don't want to do it. And the people that want to do this stuff probably should be looking on an administrative side of real estate and being really, really organized. You can still do lots of money, but it's through the organization and the systems that you set in place. If you're not good with this sort of stuff, you need to hire somebody to do it. So please, if you have any questions with any of this, we're all here to help. Okay, now that is the end of this portion of the training. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the very first resource that you should all be, and I know I'm jumping ahead right now, but I just want to quickly show you this because it is the ability to start getting and looking at some of these systems. We're going to go over the 9 weeks. Okay, and then I'm going to answer some questions as well. I'm just going to go over real quick. I think everybody that's on the line probably has a Remarketer account already. If you don't, that needs to be set up. And On our YouTube channel, we have the instructions of how to set that up. You can also contact Debbie at any time. I know I keep pushing people to Debbie. She's been doing a great job helping people on board, but this is very important. When you log into Remarketer in the brokerage hub, these are all resources we're going to be talking about. There's a ton of them. And we often talk about having too much stuff almost. But now we've put it all in one area. So you just have to start learning them. Okay. And this is some of the resources that we're going to get you working on over the next 9 weeks. Yeah, so this is going to be one of our recorded seminars. It'll be the first one, again, about team structures and everything. Next week, we're going to be working with G Suite. So making sure that there is a system associated with all your resources. G Suite is by far the best. There is nothing better than G Suite. Nobody can tell me Microsoft's got a better Outlook or anybody else. They all have systems, but I got to tell you, I was never a G Suite user. But as soon as I got off of Outlook and into G Suite, I realized the power of G Suite. If I'm working on a document, if I'm working on an Excel spreadsheet, if I'm working on anything, that can be easily managed between a group of people. They can go on and they can see what I'm typing at the same time I'm typing. If I want to have a meeting with them, I can do Google Meets. It's a all-in-one platform that really does all your communication, and it's really, really good. So we'll be showing the Google Drive. We'll be talking a lot about communication. I'm going to throw some extra stuff in there, but G Suite is definitely the number one thing. You know what I'm going to throw in there is checklists. So communication and being organized with checklists. So we're going to have some good checklists for you as well. I really worked off of checklists when I sold 100%. I would hand the sellers a checklist and say, hold me accountable. Here's all the things. And there was 50 things on there that I do for them. And I said, I want you to go through, and every time you see that, you put that check mark, and that's going to get done for you. Right. And it gives them a really good sense that they're getting value for money and that everything's getting accomplished and they're organized. They know when things are happening. Right. So that's communication next week.